Hey everyone, so today I thought that I would share some of my favorite plays that I recommend you read or check out. As I've mentioned before, I am an actress and I live in New York City and I audition and I do actory things. I just did a show in August, which was a wonderful experience, and I'm doing a short film next week. So yeah, just keeping busy doing actor things. And yeah, so I thought I'd share some of my favorite plays, and most of these plays I've just read. I read a lot of plays for fun. I don't have a lot of plays that I've been in that I've loved. Like, I've loved the experience of working on them, but I wouldn't consider them like one of my favorite plays. But that being said, I thought I'd share some of my favorite plays, and I'm going to focus specifically on plays. And honestly, there's like plays that these are plays that I've read. I'll share like a few plays that I've seen, but I feel like that could be its own separate video where it's like plays that I haven't read that I've seen that I absolutely love. But I don't know. I'm just focusing on these for now, I guess. Yeah. But I'll share like a few that I've seen that I remember off the top of my head, because I do need to like go through my playbills and stuff and be like, oh yeah, I love that one, I love that one, I love that one. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So the first two plays are written by the same author. So we have The Weird, which is a collection of short horror and pulp plays. And then we have King of Shadows by Roberto Aguirre Sacasa. So some of you might recognize this name. He was a writer on Riverdale and on Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. I don't think he was the showrunner, but he was definitely like one of the main people in charge of Riverdale and Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, and he's done like a bunch of other stuff. So his realm is definitely like spooky horror kind of stuff, but I really enjoy it. I mean, I will say like his TV shows I liked the first season of Riverdale. I didn't really like the rest of it, and I cannot get into Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. So I feel like his TV stuff is kind of hit or miss for me, but I really enjoyed both these plays. The Weird, I will say, ends kind of disappointingly, like the last play that is supposed to be a part of this collection, which if you like, you have the option of just doing like one or two of these plays if you only have like the budget for something smaller, or you're a student and you just want to do like a short play. But if you do the whole collection, like the one it ends on is kind of disappointing. So Orlando does like his whole Orlando is my husband, if you don't know, but he's a playwright and he loves horror. So like his whole thing is horror, and he was kind of just like, that was disappointing. But the rest of the plays are really solid, and I really like King of Shadows. The next three I recommend are the Greek trilogies by Luis Alfaro. So Luis Alfaro took three classic Greek tragedies and reimagined them in modern day LA. I think all of them take place in LA, but they're all like modern day Mexican American stories, like Chicano retellings. I don't have a copy of Electricidad, because Electricidad is one that I was in and I absolutely love that play, but I don't have a physical copy of it because I prioritized buying the two that I've never read or seen. So Electricidad is a modern retelling of Electra, and then we have Oedipus El Rey, which you can probably guess what that's based off of, and Mojada, which is Medea. So I really, really enjoyed these retellings, and yeah, it's really cool to see how he transformed the pieces into how he reimagined them. And obviously, being Mexican American myself, it's something that just speaks to me culturally. So I really enjoyed these. The Squirrels by Robert Askins is a really fun well, it's not fun, I guess that's the wrong word, but it is a satire that looks at wealth inequality, and all the characters are squirrels. So yeah, it's a really interesting way to look at wealth inequality, but using squirrels to get the point across. Next, we have Bump by Kiara Attic, and this is based on a true story on Jorge, I don't know why I said his name weird, Jorge Odon, and his invention that actually helped change the way pregnancies are delivered. So he came up with, when he was on his way of becoming his I cannot speak today. When he was set to become a grandfather, he invented something to help his daughter. And he just invented this device in his garage because there was like some complications arising in his daughter's pregnancy, and so he invented something that would hopefully help her delivery. And this invention ended up being like adjusted and modernized, and it's still used to this day. So I really liked this one, or I did recommend this one to Orlando as well. He felt like there was maybe something a little bit missing, like the way it ended, it kind of ended just abruptly in his opinion, but I still really enjoyed it and I still recommend it. The next play I really like is Bright Half-Life by Tanya Barfield, and I actually got one of my audition monologues from this play. This is just a 2-woman play. It's pretty much, there are scenes, but you can definitely piece something together, but it is a love story that spans decades, and we get to see the highs, the lows, the good, the ugly, and just see these women and their love story unfold. And it is told not in chronological order, like we jump back and forth in time to like different parts of the relationship. So you'll see moments at like the start of the play or the middle of the play that are like the situations take place in the future. So there's like, it all ends up tying together by the end, but there are situations where like, where did that come in? Or like by the time you get to the end, it's like, oh, I remember that situation from earlier. But yeah, I really, really like this one. Next, we have The Language Archive by Julia Cho, and it's been a while since I've read this one. I don't remember it too well, but I do remember really, really liking it. And it's a main character, like his job is to preserve languages, and it's one of those ironic things where his job is all about preserving languages and studying languages. He's a linguist, but he doesn't know how to communicate with his wife, and so that's causing some marital strain there. But I really, really like this one, and yeah, so I recommend this one. Next, we have Puffs, or 7 Increasingly Eventful Years at a Certain School of Magic and Magic by Matt Cox. You can probably guess what this is parodying, but it's a really, really fun parody. I did get to see this one in its very, very first iteration. It eventually did transfer off Broadway, which I never got to see because by the time I went off Broadway, tickets were crazy expensive. But I did get to see it when it was like first conceived and starting to get traction at the Pit, which is the People's Improv Theater, and I had a blast. It was so much fun. I thought it was a really great parody, and yeah, so this one's just a lot of fun. Next, we have Misery by William Goldman, based on the novel by Stephen King. I believe William Goldman also adapted the book into the screenplay that stars Kathy Bates. So yeah, but I actually really, really like this adaptation. I liked the film as well, but I'm really sad I never got to see this on Broadway because I was in town. I wasn't officially living in New York, but I was very briefly here for 3 months, like living the New York life at that time, and Misery was there. And I let myself be convinced by people that were like, I heard it's not very good. This starred Bruce Willis, and it was like, Bruce Willis doesn't even have his lines memorized. He has them fed to him. And now all these years later, people are like having a reckoning, and they're like, oh, maybe that's why he had his lines fed to him. Oh no. So now all of a sudden everyone's like feeling bad for being mean to Bruce Willis at the time. And it's like, you never know what people are going through. Never know what people are going through. But I really wish that I had seen it because I wanted to, but I let myself be talked out of it. Next, we have Fireflies by Danya Love. So this one I was also lucky enough to see. This was produced at Atlantic Theater Company back in 2018. And it just really spoke to me, and I really, really enjoyed it. So it is a very difficult play to watch and just read because so the main characters, we have Charles, let me double check. Charles and Olivia, it's a 2-character play. They're married. Olivia is actually the one that writes all her husband's speeches. So Charles is like, I guess you could say he's kind of stepping in as Martin Luther King Jr. here. He's not like, Martin Luther King Jr. still exists in the world, but Charles in this play is the one motivating people to march for civil rights. And after the bombing that killed 4 little girls at a church, things kind of start falling apart for Olivia as she finds out that she is pregnant, and obviously she's worried about raising a Black child in this world. And so she kind of starts second guessing whether or not she actually wants to go through with this pregnancy or not, because she's worried about what it means. So this one's really, really good, and I'm glad I got to see it. The last play that I'm recommending, and there's probably many more that I would recommend, but I may not be remembering them because they're in Texas. I need to like physically see my plays. But anyway, this is People, Places, and Things by Duncan Macmillan. This is one that I wish I had gotten to see. Everyone said it was so good. This was playing at St. Anne's Warehouse in Brooklyn. I don't remember what year it was, but it was definitely pre-pandemic. And my roommate ended up gifting me this for my birthday or for Christmas, one of those. Don't remember which one. But like everyone was talking about how good it was, so she got it for me, and it is really, really, it is like a really, really good play, and I'm sad I missed it. But it follows a woman named Emma as she goes through rehab, and just the struggles of denial and everything that comes with being sent to rehab, even if it's not necessarily something that you wanted or you feel like you don't need it. So this was really, really good. And my favorite Shakespeare play, which my physical copy is back in Texas, and that one I do remember, is because, I mean, I think everyone knows what their favorite Shakespeare play is off the top of their head. Mine is Titus Andronicus, which is not one of his well-known plays, and it's actually very, very gory. So gore is not my thing, so it's kind of surprising that I like it. But there's just something, I think it's just like so dark, so gory, so unexpected that I actually really, really like it. But those are some plays that I love, that I've read, that I highly recommend. And let me know if you'd like me to do a series or a film. Let me know if you would like me to do a video talking about my favorite plays that I've actually gotten to see. So that's it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.